just starting the process of packing for this 2-week trip, and I wanted to go over where I'm at with the cut, what I'm going to be doing on this trip, especially during a cut, because I feel like a lot of people just kind of fall off track and then they never really get back to what they were doing previous to a vacation. So I want to share with you guys what my process is, where I'm at heading into it, and then when I come back, we'll do an update on where I'm at with the cut. Did I gain a bunch of weight? Did I lose a bunch of weight? We'll see. I don't really know what to expect, quite honestly. Sometimes my body responds in weird ways. So we're gonna see how that goes, and I'm gonna take you guys along on the journey. So a little update on where I'm at right now. I just hit a new low weigh-in on Saturday morning of 123.2, which is kind of funny because the night before I went out, I had a burger, I had a bunch of snacks with friends, went to bed late, woke up late, and that morning somehow I weighed in lighter. Typically after a night like that, you're gonna weigh in heavier, but I've been kind of auto-regulating a weekly refeed for myself, so I've been choosing every weekend to have one day where I don't really track a lot, and when I do, I go slightly over, or I just eat more carbs than usual, even if I meet the calories that I typically eat. So it's just been really nice to approach a cut a little bit differently than usual and build a different skill set than just like being super diligent on my calories and like militant about it. And I think there's a time and a place for that. You know, my first real long cut I did was very structured. It was very, you know, consistent. But with this, you know, as a coach, it's my responsibility to experiment a little bit, see what's possible. And for me, this weekly refeed has been really, really helpful so far. So I'm gonna continue that after vacation. But for now, you know, we're at 123.2, so that means I'm down 5.5 pounds. So we're gonna see where I'm at when we come back, whether it be a little bit less or the same weight. I would probably anticipate that I'll be around the same weight that I started. I don't really drink a whole lot. I don't really drink at all, to be honest. That won't really be a factor. I'm gonna keep everything mostly the same, you know, from training, nutrition, across the board. I don't really do anything crazy. It's just, this is the way that I live my life now, so I do it no matter where I am. So training sessions are gonna stay the same. There's a hotel gym, which is awesome. And then food-wise, I probably won't be tracking a whole lot, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm treating this as kind of a diet break. So this 2 weeks, I'll probably be eating around maintenance. So if anything, I'll meet the same calories that I'm at, which is still 1,750, or I'll be slightly above it around my maintenance, which is like roughly around 2,000 to 2,100 calories. But again, like I said, I'll take you guys along with me. I'll show you kind of the processes and the decisions that I make throughout the vacation, and just how I live my life while I'm on vacation. Because I think like the biggest mistake people make is that when they go away on vacation, they treat it as like a free-for-all and they just like become a different person than they are at home. And for me, it's just like I live my life this way, I enjoy it. I'm not gonna go off the rails for any specific reason. And what helps with that is that I have a plan that I follow so consistently outside of vacation that when I do go on vacation, it wouldn't really matter that much if I was a little bit off track, quote unquote. And I've had a plan for so long that all of these processes and the ways of living have just become a part of who I am in my lifestyle. And it's not like something that I have to follow or really try hard to follow. It's just, again, like what I do. So I think if you want to get to that place in your life, you got to practice, you know, you got to put yourself in that situation so you can build the skill sets to be there. But again, you have to have a plan and a process that you follow for a long period of time so you can build up the habits to support that. Now, packing wise, I always bring my gym clothes, my gym shoes, and that way I have it with me, I have it ready to go, and I don't have to kind of like make up outfits and just have it as an excuse to not go and work out. Turns out that everything I just filmed was in slow motion, so that's a bitch, but it is what it is. I'll give you guys a little bit of recap of what I was talking about after this set. This is third set. First set I did working a weight of 25 pounds on each side, And then I added 5 pounds for my second set because first set I did 10 reps, which is a little bit too much than what I wanted. So I anticipated that by adding 5 pounds on each side, it'd be about 8 reps. And we hit 8 reps at 2 RIR, which is perfect. So third set, reduced the weight a little bit because I'm a little bit more fatigued, and I don't need to keep that same working weight to hit my 2 RIR in the third set. I guess I'm just giving you a recap now. Warm-ups were done about halfway to my working weight. I typically do 2 sets for my warm-up, especially in the beginning of the workout. Get warm, get blood flow to the muscle, and make sure that I'm targeting the muscle effectively with the proper body position, just really getting in that flow. You shouldn't be doing so much of a warm-up that it's fatiguing you to not be able to do your working sets as effectively as you could, because that's where the real work is done and you want to get the most out of those working sets. So third set here, we'll hop into this and then we'll go to the next exercise. All right, so probably about a 3 RR there. I'm actually surprised at the fact that I was able to do so much weight for working weight on these. I haven't been doing this exercise, at least on the free weight barbell, for quite a while. I've been doing inclined Smith bench for a fair amount of time. That's really helped with my strength progression. So I think this is probably the most amount of volume when you multiply weight and reps together that I've ever done on inclined bench. And one other thing, by the way, if I sound completely winded, it's because it is fucking hot in here. So I apologize for that, but the reason I'm able to estimate before I go into a set how much weight I should be using, how many reps I'm going to be able to get with it, and what RIR that's going to get me to is because I have so much experience with tracking my reps, tracking my weight, and doing that over and over and over again for every single training session. You really learn your body, you learn what weights would get you to a certain RIR. And obviously if I have a predetermined form of progression to use for progressive overload, that's gonna help as well. So when it comes to picking machines and traveling, I always go for the machines that have the best range of motion. And if they don't, I'd rather just do a free weight exercise. So if I chose this row machine and I couldn't get a full stretch and it was just kind of funky and I couldn't do it really smoothly, I'd probably just go for a free weight. But I've been liking this one so far, because you can adjust the chest pad. So if you push this out, it's gonna give you more of a reach, a bigger stretch in the lats, the upper back, which is what we're looking for. Okay, a little too light, but it is what it is. We'll learn for next set. And then the other things with machines is that I'm trying to pick things that really emulate the movements that I'm already doing. So I use the isolateral row at home, and this is the closest thing that they have to that. It mimics the range of motion. It mimics pretty close to what I would typically do at home. Man, it is so strange to sweat this much during a workout. When you live in Canada, there's no such thing as sweating when you're lifting unless you're on like a 1 to 0 RIR day, or if you're doing like high intensity training, like circuits or cardio, that kind of thing. But this is insane, and it definitely adds to the level of fatigue. All right, so next exercise, we're gonna be doing a lateral raise on the cables. Reason for that is because right now I'm really trying to prioritize back and shoulders. So those body parts are gonna be going earlier in my session than, you know, arms or something like that. Normally I would be using the ankle cuffs for this, but this is the next best thing. They don't have the ankle cuffs. Okay, so this is an example of where I would make a switch up. Right now I'm not getting the best range of motion behind the back because the cables are running into each other. I prefer to do both at once just for a time saver, but I'm gonna do single arm because it's gonna be a lot better. So one thing I was chatting about in all of the slow-mo footage was staying on track when you're on vacation. I think a lot of people overemphasize the idea of staying on track because they aren't actually living in the habits. You know, these habits are easy to maintain on vacation when you've already built them. They just are a part of who you are. And I think that's more the way to go about it. You know, it's not hard for me to come in here and get these sessions done when I make time for them. It's a priority to me. So, you know, if I'm traveling with family, a partner, whatever, I'm having those conversations of when's the best time for me to do that and like setting that boundary for myself and making that time, you know, 4 times out of the week. So just a simple communication, simple discussion with your family, getting the ins and outs of what's going on and then prioritizing your schedule around that. When you're traveling, you know, going to the grocery store and getting food, not going out to eat at a restaurant every single meal of the day, every single day. That makes a big difference. You know, you see what I eat today, and eggs and bacon for breakfast. I had 2 lattes. I had a homemade sandwich that I made, and tonight I'm having ground beef with something else. So it's basically what I eat at home, and the reason I'm able to do that is because prioritizing buying groceries for yourself is a huge part of that. So you're not running around with like a chicken with your head cut off trying to find the best things to eat at every restaurant. And then outside of that, of course, I'm enjoying time at the restaurant. I'm enjoying meals that I want to eat without worrying about it, because I'm not eating that every single meal, so I don't need to worry about it. And I can go and eat those foods without it affecting my progress. And when I'm on vacation, you know, I'm seeing this as more of like a maintenance phase. I'm sticking to my maintenance calories roughly. You know, I have the experience of tracking food, so I know what my maintenance calories roughly are. And I'm putting myself to the test on this vacation. You know, when I get home, I'm going to weigh myself and see how I really did. My weight's likely going to be up a little bit because of the water retention to travel. But you know, having a couple weigh-ins the week that I get back, it's going to be interesting to see how well I did on this. Did I lose a bunch of weight? Did I gain? You know, did I maintain properly? So I'm excited to see that, but it's taken a long time to get here. You know, the trips that I used to come on when I would go on vacation, my strength would be down so much because I wouldn't prioritize myself. I wouldn't get enough food in, and the food that I did get in was constant carbs. I didn't have sustained energy. It was just like energy spikes and crashes because of my blood sugar and all the carbs. And so now it's really interesting to see the difference in how I take care of myself, in the skills that I've built and the habits that I've built and the lifestyle, compared to, you know, vacations in the past where this wasn't the case. I didn't live it like this. So it's really a testament to who you are, and you can put it to that test when you go on vacation. And I think that's the most powerful part of seeing, are you really who you say you are and who you want to be? Can you put it to the test?